Netwürk Chatter. Hack the mainframe to discover what's happening in the Grimm dying universe.
Hello, Legionnaires, and welcome back to Netwürk Chatter, where we discuss what's happening in the Grimm dying universe. I'm Brian Colin, co-creator of Vast Grimm, Grimm Expanse, Plunderlust, and Sqwürmish. Now, these new episodes are going to be brought to you in 3 segments. 1. Mechanic Panic. This is a deep dive into a rule or a game element. Number 2. Lore Explore. A closer look at someone or something in the verse. And number 3. Just Discovered. What's being worked on or something that's just about to drop. So, let's go ahead and jump into the airlock and see where it takes us. Here we are. We are in Mechanic Panic. A few months back on Patreon, I added Rebreathers as the free download of the month. Now, up until that point, I had always let the players dictate kind of the type of breathing apparatus they wanted as they brought it up in game. Then Saule, who had been sculpting all of the Sqwürmish minis and still is, started sending over concepts for Rebreathers. These were for the raiders, some of the various characters, and once I started seeing the designs, I realized I needed to add a mechanic not only to Sqwürmish, but also to the RPG. So how does this work, you ask? Glad you asked. So Rebreathers allow breathing in low oxygen areas, and they also reduce the infection from Grimm parasites. So they can also, if you wanted to, if you're taking serious damage, they can soak damage for the tier that they are. So if they're a tier 2 rebreather, if you take 2 points of damage, you can just destroy the rebreather and not take any damage. But their real purpose is to fend off the Grimm parasites. So if it's a tier 1, you would roll 1 extra die when making a test against Grimm parasites or getting infected by the worms. If you have a tier 2 or a tier 3, you'd roll 2 extra dice or 3 extra dice, and you'd always take the highest number. Now, some armor like vac suits and like military grade mecha enhanced armored suits have rebreathers built in now. So I mentioned adding an extra die on the GP tests. In the next incarnation of the RPG, I'm going to update the Grimm parasite tests. I know currently there's like a 1 in X chance of a creature being infected by the Grimm or having worms inside of them. And to try and streamline things and make it more like it fit in with the other tests that we already have going on, I'm going to change that. So it's going to be like a GP test will have a number. And so it's going to be, you would roll the d20, make a toughness test, and if you hit that number or higher, you don't become infected by the worm. So having these extra dice because of the rebreathers, unless you roll like me, are going to come in very, very handy. Okay, so that is the mechanics deep dive on rebreathers. You can get those for free on my Patreon. The link is down in the show notes. Be sure to check out all the other free files and maybe even browse around and see the things that I'm releasing on a monthly basis. That is the Mechanic Panic. Now let's dive into the Lore Explore. I have to say that Shit King Saule is probably one of my favorite characters in the verse. He truly depicts just how vile humanity can be when they only give a shit about themselves. Now there's hints about Saule sprinkled through like almost all of the books, usually in the form of like an adventure spark here, or something in a loot table, or even more in like Helltrap barges, where it delves into kind of the society he's created and his council on the waste barges. Now, in April's Patreon, I took an even deeper dive into his backstory, and this is how it went. Burrowed deep in the mountains of unbreathable refuse, Shit King Saule has built a thriving empire from the trash and people others discarded. His throne, and the kingdom it's seated in, now stretches far and wide across the verse. But this did not happen overnight. Saule's mother, Kapara, escaped to the waste barges after realizing the atmosphere on K2116b would kill her unborn twins. Fleeing the Holy Land, one that she had dreamed of pilgrimaging to all her life, was not an easy choice. She could tell that breathing the air was causing movement within her womb to become erratic and violent. And when Kapara climbed into the hopper of a garbage getter, she had no clue where it would take her unborn babies. Conditions in this hopper were not ideal, and by the time it was emptied on the waste barges of Kalar, Kapara had suffered severe frostbite. Sadly, Saul was the only survivor of that voyage, quickly being adopted by a junker upon his discovery. Kapara created a number of videos for her children on this journey, knowing she might not survive. To this day, Saul wears the drive containing the footage on a necklace. Saul's adoptive parents always referred to him as their treasure, allowing him to see the value in others people's trash and instilling in him confidence at an early age. Life on the barges was not easy and often cruel. Through violence, gambling, and intimidation, Saul took control of the waste barges one at a time. Before he was 20, they were all under his domain. Now, time has passed since then. You can decide exactly how you want King Saul to be or how you want him to interact with the other people of the verse. Maybe pick up Helltrap barges to build out some of that expanded lore. But that's just a little bit of an insight into Shit King Saul. And you can even see he's got a little creepy rebreather on here as well. Okay, time to dive into Just Discovered. All right. So earlier this week, I started leaking links to my next Kickstarter project. It's going to be 2 zines for Vast Grimm Expanse RPG. First off, we've got Grimm Solitude. I've been sitting on this a little while because I just haven't had time to actually get down and start laying it out and doing the art for it. After being a judge on the Pirate Board Game Jam, I reached out to Alan Hall, who had created the captain and crew solo rules for Pirate Board. And I really loved the concept he employed in it, and I really dug how everything seemed to work. So I knew he'd be the right person for creating solo rules for the Grimm Dying Universe. Now, within the pages of the zine are not only the rules for converting existing adventures, the rules for playing on your own, it's got tables for randomly generating adventures, and it's got a solo adventure called A Surviving Soul. It's a great way to start building a character as you play through the story, and maybe you'll even be lucky enough to find somebody to build out a legion as you go. There is so much packed into that zine. Anybody that's interested in taking some time to play solo is really going to love what Alan's written, and I can't wait to share it with you. Next up, we have Jaws of Madness. If you've played Grimm Outlook, this is part 2 in that ongoing series of the Gate of Infinite Stars campaign. But not only that, it can also be played as a thrilling standalone one-shot. So, the Legion kicks off action on Marauder's cryosphere, racing to upgrade their starship, but danger strikes fast. The ruthless Cyber Shark Space Raider faction is on their tail. And with cosmic pirates closing in, the Legion must fight to protect their cargo. And hey, if they survive the onslaught, they might just uncover another crucial fragment to the mysterious Gate of Infinite Stars. Get ready for some high-stakes combat, wild upgrades, and mayhem. These 2 zines are going to be a quick starter. It's going to be short and sweet. The books are going to be ready to go when I launch the project, so that once it's all done, I can quickly send it off to a local US printer, have them made, and go ahead and get them out. Now, the link for that is down in the show notes. So that's it. Netwürk Chatter is short and sweet, and just want to keep it to the point so that I can release regular updates about what's going on in the Grimm Dying Universe. As we discussed in the episode, all things should be down in the show notes. If you'd love to join the community, we've got a great Discord called the Grimm Place. And I recently fired up a forum on my creature curation site that I would love for people to join. That way, if I will have more control over the forum itself, it'll be archived, it'll help SEO for creaturecuration.com, and everything will just be a really good repository for the future. But till next time, keep spreading the Grimm infection.